How's it going, everyone? My name is Andrew, and today we have a new episode and final episode with this car being completed finally. It took us some time, but we finally got it over with, and I also took some time off YouTube. But it's time today to show you how much this car cost us totally and what we did. I'm gonna go through with all the expenses and what else we did in this car. So to begin with, the auction buying of this car from the auction, the total fees, including all the fees from the auction, including the towing and everything else, the initial vehicle value as is when we bought it from the auction was $14,626. After that, we went ahead and bought all the first batch of BMW parts that were needed for the car, and this was basically, there were basically a lot of parts for the engine, a lot of broken tubes, and a lot of broken stuff that I'm going to show you right away. And that was the biggest batch of parts, $3,440.22. And what I mean by that is we changed a lot of parts inside the engine, and so here's what we did. Mostly we replaced a lot of parts on the engine that were broken during the front collision, and there were tubes that were replaced. There was this air box, there was a radiator support, and a lot of stuff that were broken while the collision was on the front. We replaced a lot of tubes here that were for the coolant, a lot of the condenser on the bottom on the engine, and a lot of other stuff, really small plugs and small stuff that add up to the cost of the car. And then we had another small batch of parts that we were missing from BMW. These parts were actually the air to water intercooler that cost us $429.47. We paid for these two hood closers that were actually bent and were not repairable. We paid $117.43. We're missing some small parts here, like the retainer for the hood and some other small parts, but we're gonna get them later. And we also paid for these headlights, this one and this one. The wiring harnesses were cut from the auction, so we had to pay $100 to get the entire wiring harnesses for both of the lights. So basically what else we did was we replaced the headlights. We bought these headlights as a set from China, which was really cheap actually, based on what the dealer was asking here, more than $3,000. For these ones we paid $1,200.05 from China. They were here in 2 weeks, and this was these are basically OEM parts. We paid $80 to get them reprogrammed from BMW to the US specs, and so they can talk to the car. And after that, we had to send all these parts, the front bumper, the hood, the fender, we had to send them for paint, and also the side skirts, and that costed us $800. And the body parts themselves, which was the hood, the bumper, and the side skirts and the fender, we replaced. All those body parts cost us $759.51. Lastly, we had to replace both fog lights because they were damaged, the small ones, the LED fog lights on the bottom. We paid for those $78. We found a good deal from eBay. And then there were miscellaneous parts that we had to get the engine running. That was $367.23 for the radiator that we got as the last part because we couldn't find it anywhere. So total value, we also paid for the registration and fees for this car, which was around $2,150. And so everything total on this car, the total value of this car ended up to be $24,764. This car is a salvage title, had really low miles. It had 34,000 miles, and that's how much we paid for everything to get it running and to get it in such a good shape.